Hey kids, how are you guys doing today? My name is Dr. Isaac Addae, and I'm here with you because Miss India Epps asked me to talk to you guys a little bit about my background, my story, and my career. So I want to take a little bit of time and just share my story with you. I hope that you get something out of it, and I hope that you're inspired to achieve great things in your life. Again, as I mentioned, I'm Dr. Isaac Addae. Now, I'm not the typical doctor that you think about when you hear someone say doctor that works in a hospital or in a medical setting. I have a PhD. Let me tell you a little bit about my career and how I got to the place of having a PhD. First of all, my parents are from Ghana, West Africa. You may have some friends or even yourself with parents who are from another country. I was born in the United States. I grew up in the South, and it was a really interesting time being an African kid growing up in Black America. My parents wanted me to either be a lawyer, doctor, or engineer in terms of my career. That's pretty much what African parents tell you to pick. Well, I chose medicine. As a kid, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. I was really curious about science, and neurosurgery just seemed like something that was really hard, and I was always up for a grand challenge. So I was on a path to becoming a medical doctor and pursuing neurosurgery up until about the eighth grade. Now, here's what happened. My dad was a robotics professor at a college where we lived, and I spent a lot of time in his classes every summer looking at robots, watching him teach his college students on how to use robots. So I got really interested in robots. That led me to want to pursue mechanical engineering. So in the eighth grade, I decided, you know what? I don't want to be a neurosurgeon anymore. I'm going to be a mechanical engineer. All the way through high school, my mind was set on being a mechanical engineer. I went to Tennessee State University in Nashville, Tennessee, which is a historically Black college. And when I got to Tennessee State University, they told me that electrical engineers made more money than mechanical engineers. And guess what? I changed my major from mechanical engineering to electrical engineering. Now, I pursued engineering because I was really good at and math and science was fun for me. And I was told that there were not a lot of guys that looked like me in the engineering field. And so if I wanted a career where I could make a difference and make a good living, engineering was a good career choice. And I did that. I got my first degree in engineering, I got my second degree in engineering, and I went to go work as an engineer for about 7 years. Now, what did I do? Well, my first job was at a company called IBM. You may or may not have heard of it before. My job was to test microprocessors. Yes, doesn't that sound boring? But microprocessors are really important. Every digital device that you see today, laptops, phones, tablets like this one, they have a little tiny brain on the inside. That's the microprocessor. The team that I worked on, we tested those devices to make sure that they worked for all of the computers that IBM sold. After I left IBM, I went to go work for a company called Raytheon that was in the defense industry. Now, you may have heard of drones before, and some of you may even have a drone at home that you fly around. Well, guess what? There are some really top secret drones flying around in the sky that we're using to keep us safe and to help us prepare for any terrorist attacks that may come our way. So my second engineering job was to help test drones, and that was really fun. So my engineering career pretty much was spent working in test roles, using my engineering degree with my math and science background to help develop technology. Some of the technology that we actually use today, some of the things that we hear about today, I got to work on some of those projects. Now, I changed careers at a certain point. After about 7 years, I decided, you know what? Engineering is fun, but I want to try something different. I wanted to go and work at a university. My parents worked at universities. I grew up on college campuses my whole life, and I thought, you know what? I want to give this a shot. I want to be a teacher. So I started working on my PhD in business because I've always been really interested in business and how companies start and how companies grow. So my PhD is in business, and my research was focused on how companies essentially scale or how companies grow and make money and become profitable. I started teaching at a university, and there I taught students leadership. I taught students business strategy. I also taught students entrepreneurship in terms of how to start their own companies. And some of you may have parents that own their own businesses. They're entrepreneurs. I taught students on how to start their own business. After 7 years, guess what? I decided to make another change. So I spent 7 years in engineering. I spent 7 years as a professor at a university teaching students in business. And now I am helping build a technology company. The name of my company is called Pivot Technology School. I'm the chief strategy officer. So I get to take my love for technology and engineering, my love for business, and put all those things together every day to help us grow this company. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Pivot. Pivot is a company that teaches people of color, specifically Black people, how to code, how to become software engineers, how to learn cybersecurity, and how to move into the technology industry. Our company is helping people that look like me and you get high-paying jobs in technology. All right, now let's think about it. You probably have an iPad, or someone in your family has a phone or a laptop or a computer, and you're probably using apps, right? Well, guess what? A software engineer had to design that app and test that app and make sure that those apps are working. And we're teaching people how to go into the world and work as software engineers, which is one of the highest in-demand careers of today. All right. So I went from engineering to business to working at a tech company, basically as a startup, helping us grow this business. And it's been a great experience so far. Now, I have a doctorate degree, again, as I mentioned, in business. And while I'm not teaching anymore, I'm still using my PhD every day to help us solve challenging business problems and to help us grow this company. So again, there are all types of doctors out there, right? There are medical doctors. There are doctors in the dental space. Your dentist has a doctorate degree. There are people like me that have PhDs in different fields who do research and are called doctors. You can get a doctorate in a lot of different areas. And whatever your interest is, there's likely a doctorate degree that aligns or that maps to it. All right. The last thing I want to share with you guys is I'm also an author. I wrote my first book last year, and it's called Black Boy Fly. And this book is basically about my journey through life and how I struggled and how I overcame obstacles to become successful. Now, I'm only 40 years old. I think I'm pretty young. You guys might think I'm old. I feel like I'm young, and I still have a lot more to do in my life. And so I want you guys to know that whatever you want to achieve, whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish those goals. If you want to be a doctor, you can be a doctor. If you want to be an entrepreneur and start your own business, guess what? You can do that too. You just also have to know that you have greatness within you. And even though you might run into some struggles along the way, don't let anything stop you from achieving your dreams. So just look at me. I'm the kid whose parents were from Africa, who was born in the United States. 40 years later, I think I've done pretty well using my doctorate degree to go and help businesses grow and really trying to find ways to impact our community. All right. So I hope I said something today that really helped. Again, you have greatness within you. Find what that is. Think about what you want to be when you grow up. Think about what you want your life to look like. Find a career that will allow you to make a difference, also make a living so that you can have a happy life, you can live an impactful life, and you can become the person that you were always meant to be. All right. And hey, if you guys ever want to reach out to me, you have any questions, go to Miss India Epps, tell her that you want to talk to Dr. Addae. We can have a conversation about careers or whatever else you want to know. Now, I have 3 kids of my own, so I get it. I have all these conversations all the time. I have a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 7-year-old boy. All right. So I know what it's like to be a young kid trying to figure out what you want your life to look like. I'd love to talk with you and have that conversation. Take care.